I'm Sean Holman from the Four Wheeler Network, and with me today is Christian Hazel from Peterson's 4-Wheel and Off-Road, and we'd like to welcome you to eBay Motors Presents Parts and Performance, your supercharged guide to vehicle mods. In this segment, we'd like to introduce you to
Off-Road Wheels.
So we've got a number of different wheels on the counter here, and first being our steel wheel, going to a cast alloy wheel, all the way up to the big boy here, the forged wheel. So we'll talk to you through a little bit of the construction and materials. So a steel wheel here is just like it sounds. It's a mild steel wheel. It's usually has a hoop that has a center welded in. Extremely heavy, but extremely durable as well. This is what you see on a lot of old Jeeps that are rock crawling with a big tire with tons of sidewall, because you don't care if you get rock rash on these. You can rub them up against the rock. They don't care.
Dent them, pound them back into shape. It's also going to be your lowest priced option when buying new wheels.
And if you want to make them look new again, you just take a can of spray paint, your rock rash, and you're back on the trail.
Super simple.
Super simple, super inexpensive, and super heavy. So moving on over, we've got the cast aluminum wheel, and this is basically a construction that is on every new vehicle today. If you get your upgraded wheels and you go to the alloys, this is what you get. Cast means that it's just like it sounds. The metal is poured into a cast to make the shape, and cast wheels are much lighter than a steel wheel, much more durable, stronger, higher load ratings, come in a million different types of finishes, whether it's powder coated and machined like here, or polished or chrome, or anything else that you can think of. These wheels are very durable in everyday driving, although they don't hold up to rock rash as well, and they don't hold up to abusive driving on the trail as well as a steel wheel would.
Yeah, hit a rock at speed off-road and you're more likely to shatter a cast wheel than you are to bend it.
So for those of you who are looking for a stylish wheel for your daily driver, this is an excellent choice. If you want to go off-road, still a great choice, but you're not going to be pounding through the hammers with these like you would on a steel wheel.
Yeah.
So moving on over, we have the forged wheel, this massive 20 by 12 right here. Now, a forged wheel is pretty cool because it's incredibly strong and a lot lighter than its fort size than these guys here. They're made from one giant chunk of aluminum that's been forged, so it's been created under pressure, which is what a forging is, and then they're machined out by a CNC machine to make the pattern. But because it's out of a singular piece of metal and it's from a forging, you know, basically these cast wheels, they would melt a forging or melt a billet into this shape, whereas they're actually using the billet to create this. So that means the grains of metal all go in the same direction. It means it's incredibly strong. And unlike this wheel, which under abusive driving or some sort of hardcore off-roading is likely to shatter or crack, this wheel would be more likely to bend like the steel wheel does. So those are your basic constructions of what's out there for wheels. And Christian, why don't we talk about sizes, offset, and brakes?
So there's three things you want to consider when buying wheels. One is diameter, another is bolt pattern, and finally it's back spacing. So diameter, that's the diameter of the wheel. Really simple.
And the same size as your tire, the hole in the center of your tire.
Yeah, important to match those two. If you have a bigger brake package, or if you think you're going to one day add a bigger brake package, you want to factor that into your wheel diameter selections. So if you have a 14-inch rotor, you want to leave a couple extra inches on your wheel selection choice to fit the caliper in there. Another is bolt pattern. Bolt pattern is going to be a number like 5 on 4.5, 6 on 5.5, 8 on 6.5, and that bolt pattern equates to, the first number is going to be how many lug studs are in your wheel hubs. The second number is going to be the distance between those studs. So 8 on 6.5, you've got 8 lugs, they're 6.5 inches. So you can do a search online, find your bolt pattern for your vehicle beforehand, and make sure that the wheels you're buying have that bolt pattern. Finally, back spacing. That's the distance between the outside of the rim on the wheel and the actual mounting surface.
Now we should point out that backspacing is sometimes called offset, but they're actually a little bit different. They mean the same thing, but it's a different measurement that you're going to do when you're looking at. So understand the difference between backspacing and offset will be important when you're looking online to size your wheel properly. And all the offset or backspacing is, it's where the center of the wheel is in relationship to the rim and the outer edges of the wheel.
So if you see a 0 offset wheel, you know, okay, it might be 8 inches wide. You know, if it's a 0 offset, it's going to be right in the middle. So you'll have 4 inches on either side.
Which means that affects where the wheel sits in relationship to the body of the vehicle. Does it tuck inside the fenders, or does it stick outside the fenders?
The other way to measure is back spacing. And for back spacing, you run a straight edge along the back of the wheel here, and then just simply measure from that mounting surface out. And so things to consider when backspacing, it might be suspension component clearance, it might be to tuck the tires in under the fenders, it might be
turning radius
clearance when you're turning your front tires. So those are some things to consider when purchasing wheels.
So the last thing we need to talk about is what's called lug-centric or hub-centric. So hub-centric is when the hub of the wheel precisely matches the hub on your vehicle. A lot of late model trucks are that way. And it's a more precise mounting method for wheels. So if you're going to do an OE, tire fitment, direct replacement, that's a good thing to find out. The wheels that are sitting up here are all lug-centric wheels, which is a less precise way to mount your wheels, but it's how truck and car wheels have been mounted for years and years. So there's nothing wrong with that. But find out, it'll help you get the best fit for your vehicle. So again, going over, you need to figure out your sizing, diameter, your back spacing, your lug count, your lug size, hub or lug centric, as well as construction, whether you want a steel, an alloy, or a forged wheel. Remember, these and 60 million other parts are available on eBay Motors right now.